What is sexuality in aging? Sexuality is an important part of human being and stays meaningful throughout life, even in old age. According to World Health Organization, sexuality is a complex idea that includes an individual's sexual orientation, identity, behaviors, desires, and roles. It is influenced by their biological, psychological, social, cultural, and historical background. Sexuality can change over time due to individual maturation and changes in society. Stigma surrounding sexuality in aging remain a persistent issue. It is often influenced by the cultural, community, and religion beliefs. People believe that only young people should talk about sex, and when a person reaches old age, they are expected to let go of such needs. It is because they label sexuality expressions in older people as shameful, sinful, or inappropriate. Does it impact older adults? The stigma can seriously impact older adult emotions. They suffer loneliness, stress, reduced self-esteem, social withdrawal, and even depressed due to people's negative perceptions. What is the relationship between theory of ageism and sexuality in aging? Theory of ageism explains that older adults are weak and unproductive to perform sexual activity. Society views older adults as asexual, undesirable, or incapable of performing sexual activity.
So let's move on to biological, psychosocial, and institutional consideration. Biological changes like hormonal shift and chronic illness affect sexual function. Psychosocial issues such as loneliness, low self-esteem, and age stereotype further complicate emotional and sexual expression. At the same time, aged care institutions face policy gap, lack of staff training, and uncertainty around consent, especially in the cases of dementia. Psychosocial, policy, and biological, these three elements must be considered together. So let's move on to biological changes on sexuality. For women, menopause lowers estrogen level, which can cause vaginal dryness and discomfort during sex. For men, testosterone declines with age, a process called andropause, leading to the lower libido and difficulty with sexual performance. So for chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and arthritis often affect energy, mobility, and sexual interest. And many common medications like antidepressant and blood pressure pill can cause a side effect that reduce sexual desire. When older adults take multiple medication, known as polypharmacy, the risk to sexual health can increase even more. So overall, hormone, illness, and medication reduce sexual function. So let's move on to psychosocial changes on sexuality. Older adults continue to value emotional closeness, companionship, and even physical affection like cuddling and touch. Losing a spouse, social isolation, or living in a nursing home can lead to deep loneliness and reduced opportunity for intimacy. On top of that, negative stereotypes like the belief that older people are asexual can lead to shame, silence, and stigma. Changes in appearance or health may also lower self-confidence, further reducing sexual expression. This psychosocial factor must be acknowledged as part of holistic elder care. So let's move on to institutional and consent challenge. Consent in dementia care. Sexual activity does happen in aged care, but if often misable as inappropriate even when it's consensual. Things get more complicated when dementia is involved. Can someone with cognitive impairment give consent to sexual activity? Some staff say yes, others say no, and most policies don't provide enough guidance. So let's move on to spousal intimacy dilemmas. Many married couples stay emotionally and physically close even after one partner enters a care home. But when one partner has dementia and the other wants to continue intimacy, care staff face a moral dilemma. Should they allow the relationship or intervene to protect the resident? There are often no clear answer. What's needed is thoughtful, compassionate decision making and grounded in ethics, not fear or stigma. So let's move on to the better training and policy needed. The solution lies in education, empathy, and policy reform. Staff need training to understand that sexuality is a normal part of aging, not something to be ashamed of. Clear policy should guide when and how intimacy is safe, consensual, and supported. Private space, person-centered care, and ethical awareness are essential. Most importantly, every resident cases should be treated individually with respect for their unique needs, values, and dignity.
So now, we are going to go into the contemporary issue in sexuality in aging. So, the first issue is the lack of privacy for sexuality in care homes. As we all know, nursing home, continuing care home, and such care center has been a choice as they stay for most elderly in their later years. In these homes, the residents tend to share the facilities such as bedrooms with other residents. However, how about their privacy? Since they have to share their facilities, it creates an environment with such unclear boundaries of the residents' privacy. For example, the bedroom could not be regarded as a fully private room due to the staff's unlimited access to their personal space. According to Howitz et al. 2020, personal activities such as sexual activities could not be performed in this situation, such as bed sharing, kissing, engaging in physical sex, having romantic relationships, masturbation, and also hugging. Further into the article by Howitz et al. 2020, there was a situation where a pair of couple would spend time together privately by going to each other's room and hide behind the curtains. However, the staff would walk into them abruptly and interrupt them while expressing their sexuality. This also creates such tension between the residents and also the staff. There are many newspaper articles that discuss upon this issue. For example, a newspaper article by Kate Lyons, 2024, that is about a webinar organized by the Older Persons Advocacy Network, which is on elder people's sexual rights at the nursing home. The related theory of aging that can be applied is disengagement theory. It suggests that older adults withdraw from previous public life and social roles as part of the aging process. However, in this context, the elderly involuntarily disengage from their role as an intimate partner and are restricted from expressing their sexuality towards their partner. For example, the continuous surveillance from staff and also non-secluded shared environments of the care homes. It prevents the older adults from engaging in intimate activities comfortably. Okay, moving on to the next issue, which is love scam among elderly. Loneliness among elderly is common. This is due to multiple reasons such as death of partner and also urbanization. Therefore, online dating platforms such as Tinder and Bumble have become the modern choice for the elderly to seek companionship and also connect with others. Unfortunately, these online dating platforms also shows negative effects and threats towards the elderly. The scammers will trick the victim by creating fake profiles and also display stolen pictures. They will also go to the extent in requesting money from the victims. A 2023 report by Federal Trade Commission (FTC) shows that romance scams results in losses amounting to 1.3 billion, with 1/3 of the victims are elderly, aged 60 and above. According to Fatima et al. 2024, there are also other harmful effects of dating platform towards elderly, and this includes sexual abuse, safety concern, stress, reduced self-esteem, and also stalking. This is also not an unusual issue, as there are newspaper reports regarding this issue. The theory of aging that can be applied is the continuity theory. Internal continuity defined as the consistent individual's inner structure throughout life. It includes ideas, temperament, affect, experiences, and also preferences. This explains the desire of older adults to continue seeking for affection from a partner, even through online dating platforms. However, this longing for companionship increases their risk of being deceived by love scammers.